Hello again. In my last video, I went over how to get started creating a Minecraft mod in the unobfuscated release of 1.21.11 using the Fabric API and Fabric mod loader. On screen, you'll see some comments from Solace pointing out where I did make a few mistakes, so we're going to go over that and slow down a bit. To get started, I'm using this template mod generator again. This time it's just cool mod instead of my cool mod, so I'll have to update some things for the resources that we created for the item. You can go to this link, maven.fabricmc.net, navigate to net.fabricmc. You'll be able to find Fabric Loader, Fabric-no-remap, and Fabric API. And like Solace mentioned, there is an unobfuscated release. If we just search for unob, you'll see it here. And we're going to be using this one, which was released on the 6th of December. We have two files open. We're going to start in build.gradle and then update the versions in gradle.properties for our loom, our Minecraft version, our loader version, and our fabric version. Let's start up here. We're going to change this to no remap. We're going to take out this mappings call here. And for these two lines, we're going to change these to implementation. For our Minecraft version, we'll do the same thing. Loader should be fine. We're going to use this version for loom. We also update the fabric version, which is for the Fabric API. So we reload with those changes. Fabric, run client. We see here, we're on 1.21.11 unobfuscated, and this is fabric modded. Let's go ahead and register an item. We're going to copy over the method from the last video. And if you want to know where this is coming from, you can just go to the items class. What you'll see in here is these different register items, and some of them use vanilla item ID. If you control click on that, you'll go to its definition, which is just creating an identifier with the default namespace with that string. But what we did is change it to where it creates from namespace and path instead. And we should just change this to where it's just mod ID. So just like in the last video, all we need to do is call to items.registerItem. And as I said before, you could do this in 4 or 5 different ways. I'm just showing you a very straightforward method for now. Going to create a basic new item for now and give it some basic properties. We should have a basic item that is registered to the game under our namespace, which is coolmod. So what we can do is copy over the items and lang stuff that we made in the last video. So we should have an item model that points to Minecraft's internal stick model. So it should just look like a stick. We should have an item that looks like a stick. In the lang file, we have the translation item mycoolmod. This needs to change to just coolmod because we've changed the namespace of our mod. So now we have item coolmod mod stick, and it should display as mod stick. While it's loading, let's just review what we've done. We're using the no remap version of Loom. We're using unobfuscated versions of the Fabric Loader and the Fabric API. The single player, creative, peaceful, super flat. We'll do the same thing in the last video. We're going to /give @coolmod mod stick, and we have a stick. It doesn't do anything because we haven't told it to do anything. It's just a very basic item with no properties at all. But we have a stick, and it says mod stick in your inventory when you hover over it. Just for the sake of keeping everything on screen, we're going to create the item class here. I'm going to do a public static class mod stick item extends item, and then we'll alt enter create constructor matching super. So this is now just a very basic item that again doesn't do anything. So this is no better than just doing raw item right now. What we can do is override a method, and by overriding method it will use our method instead of the original. So what we're going to do is just do use on, and then we want to make sure that we're doing this on the logical side, the server side only, not on the client. We might get into client mods based on a request I got into my Discord, but no promises. For now, let's do level from Minecraft. We'll call it level for now, and that's going to be equal to context.getLevel, which is provided to us. And if you wanted to, you could do context dot and see everything else that is available to you that's public. So we have inside, we can get a direct reference to the player. We can get the hand that they clicked with. So if this item was used in their offhand, you could tell that instead. You can get the click location, the absolute location of where the raycast actually landed in the world. You can even get the direction that they were facing as they clicked. We have a reference to the level. And what we can do, you could do this in 2 different ways, I believe. You could do level.is client side, or you could do level instance of server level. The way this works, if you go to the level class, you should probably get an understanding of object-oriented programming in Java or in general. But if we look at the hierarchy of this, we see client level and server level both extend from level. Pretty straightforward. We want to use something from the server level. We can do server level.setBlock. You see all these different methods that are public and available to you to actually use. We're going to do setBlock and update. So we need a block pause. If we use context again, we can get a block pause, which was the clicked position in the world. And then we need to provide a block state. So you might think, well, how do I create a block state? Would you just do new block state? And then you have to figure out the block and then an array map and then compare. Well, no, you don't need to do all of that. We're just going to do blocks, lava, and then we can get the default block state. And if you just press dot after that, you could also see everything else that is available to you. We've registered an item, and when we use it or right click it on a block, and if we are on the server, we're going to set that block to lava. All right, so we're in the world, we right click, and the block that we are clicking on is turning into lava. So pretty straightforward there. It's a little bit different. In the last one, I made it place it in a different way, and we could go over the difference there. What I'm going to do, create a new commented area. This is the exact code that I had in the last video. So we're going to retype it up here. We're going to review kind of what's going on. So I used a block place context in the last video. So what is this? If we look at the hierarchy, it does extend from use on context, which is just direct hierarchy here. Modifies the behavior of get nearest looking direction. So it kind of changes how this entire thing is calculated. But you could get into some pretty deep stuff just off of this. But what we're going to do, we're just going to use it again. Call it block place context, or just place context like we did in the last. And that is just a new block place context wrapping the original context, of which it is technically extending. All right. So now if we do block pause, place pause, and then place context dot get clicked pause. Whoops. Dot get clicked pause. And we go to that, we see it's coming from the block place context, not just the use on context, and we see how it's modified. It's getting either replace clicked or relative pause, which is constructed through this constructor here. Get result get block pause dot relative. You could have done this on your own and use the same chain, but this is the more intuitive way. Just wrap it with the block place context because we're trying to place a block into the world, essentially. Also look, by default, we were returning interaction result dot fail, so we can go ahead and do that. And keep extending up here. Let's remove this old stuff. So now we were checking if we were on the server and the block that we clicked on can be replaced, such as the air, then we're doing that same set block and update call, and then we return success instead. We should see our arm swinging based off of success, and we should see it placing lava above where we were clicking instead of directly replacing the block that we did click. So now lava is placed like we're placing a block into the world using the block place context. We're going to ramp this up, get a little bit more involved. In our mod initializer, all we are doing is registering our item, mod stick, and this is using our class here. Mod stick class, we're overriding 4 methods, and we're using static methods that we have in the same class. I have them up here. For a simple explanation, I have each of these essentially calling to the super of each of these methods, essentially running this block of code inside of use animation. If we go to it here and expand it, we see it's doing the same logic here that is happening here. This was the implementation that we just had for placing lava into the world, but originally item.class just returns pass through the interaction result. Make sure to run this in debugging mode, and that's going to be important in one moment. We have these methods here, use duration, use animation, use on, use, and coolMod as static methods. What we're doing here is taking advantage of HotSwap. We can actually modify some of our code at runtime, specifically in the body of methods. So we're back to having a regular item. Right-clicking does nothing. Hi-pig. What if we want to do something like a bow or such as the brush, where if we use it, the player starts using the item and it has its own use animation? For now, we're just going to copy some of this logic and we're going to swap it here after this. This was the issue. We tried to add this here and then reference it, so that's not valid. So what we can do instead is, what if we just do, what if we just take that out and just do player not null? So our code has been reloaded, hopefully successfully. So if we try to use this now, we see the sweep, we see the brush animation now. We can actually see the brush animation. So this is pretty neat. We just hot swapped our code in real time, changed it to use the brush animation. We didn't have to reload the entire game. So I can't Oh my god, I can't tell you how much I love HotSwap. Quick review, our mod initializer is registering one single item using our custom class, and that is using public static methods. If we hover over this, for right now, we've copied basically what the brush is doing. We've copied their useOn method to automatically begin brushing anytime the player uses this item. For the use animation, we've provided the item use animation.brush. For use duration, we've given it a duration of 2000, so after 2006, it would stop using the item, they would release the item. And then use is the same base logic from item.class. So what if we wanted to change this again, use a different animation, and we'll do eat instead, apply the hot swap, it reloaded, and now we have a really long eating animation, which is just hilarious. That's funny. It's not doing it from the third person. All right. So now what if we change that to bow? Reload that. Code reloaded. Now it's using the bow animation. There we go. We see it in the third person as well. So that's pretty cool. Spears, spyglasses, toot horns. So you could, you know, toot any item as a horn, basically. Our code was reloaded. So now nothing seems to be happening. Oh, there we go. In third person, we see that we're holding it up like that, but we don't have the first person animation. So you might have to do some other custom things and inject some code to actually get it working. Oh, this is kind of weird. It looks like you're just holding it up in the air like a sword. Thanks for watching. Let me know what other videos you want to see. If you need more tutorials, if you need to learn more about unobfuscated code or examine the base code of the game, leave a comment letting me know what you want to see from me. That's all. And thanks for watching.